spoke to John and Ken after the game, and they were both desperate to come back here and play Simon. They seems to be delighted to
That's
hear
good,
that.
yeah. I think I was really pleased with the way Wales finished the tournament. I just, they showed a real intent in that game, which probably they hadn't shown or seen up until that Scottish match, and it was good to see. And pleasing thing for me was that a lot of our players were heavily involved in a lot of that as well. So coming back with a bit of a spring in their step, and still something to play for. It's great to hear that the boys are positive after the game, and they've come in today in good form, and hopefully that can be a good boost to what's already been quite a good period for us.
Yeah, but you can't really afford to rest them, though, can't you? In terms of this game,
no, not really. No, there's potentially there's only 6 regular season games left.
Yeah.
We've got a break after the Connacht match, which will allow players to have a bit of downtime. Yeah. But certainly, they've all to a man been keen to continue playing. Some of them haven't played that much either, so a lot of them have had bench time during the international period. So it's a good boost, and it's adds to the competitiveness of the squad now that the players that stayed on here while the Six Nations were on went well.
Yeah, Rodri was one of those. Obviously, are you looking to involve him in terms of especially with Jacoby?
Yeah, I mean, I think he showed again he's had some good game time for Wales, backed up from the autumn, and he's starting to deliver in the set piece as well, which is good to see. So. We're fortunate we've got some options there now that we maybe didn't have a couple of months ago, or certainly at the start of the season.
That defeat last weekend, was it frustration the way you let Ulster, the start, give them that first 20 minutes?
I think that's we just fed them far too much of what they got, and that's down to a couple of things, down to some of our inaccuracies and putting a bit of pressure on ourselves at times when we didn't need to, but also Ulster are a very good side. You just look at their team across the board; they were a very, very strong team, and I was pleased with the way the boys responded after half time. We were 21-13 with very much still in the game to get something out of it. Disappointed probably in the last couple of minutes that we didn't play our way out of their 22. We kicked the ball away and then allowed them to get a bonus point. We probably missed a chance there just to keep hold of the ball and try and force something. But in reflection, frustration was the biggest thing probably, that we weren't necessarily outplayed. We probably were our own worst enemies at times, and that gifted Ulster far too much of what they got out of the game, and didn't have to work for as much. So there's lots of good things, but there's lots of things that we've highlighted for this game, going away again to Glasgow, to get right. And I think we do that, then we have the potential to go to Glasgow and get a result.
Because they're welcoming back, and they obviously, like yourselves, a lot of international players if they play them all this weekend.
So I think they're in a similar position injury wise. They've got quite a few injuries in key positions, so that's going to potentially have an impact on what they can do in their selection. It's a game. I think we knew before Ulster we had 7 left in the regular season, and potentially could afford one slip up. We've had that now, so it means that we're going to have to win pretty much every game to get ourselves into a position to get to that top 4, and that still is an object of ourselves, because mathematically it's still possible, and I believe with the group that we got and the guys that are coming back, it's a genuine possibility if we play to our potential.
It's almost cup knockout stages.
Yeah, and that's good. We'd want to be further up the table. Obviously, we want to, but it's still in our hands. So we're just going to, make sure that we get what we can control in our game right, and then other factors then outside of that we have to deal with.
And just a little bit about Glasgow. Obviously, they started the season with a bang. They haven't quite kept that going. But what are their qualities?
They're certainly well coached by Gregor. I think he has them well drilled. They have a couple of individuals. Matawalu in particular can break a game up particularly well. Their form hasn't maybe been as good as they would have liked of recent, and yet they go to Leinster and probably Leinster's nemesis really in the last couple of years. The way they've played against each other, have been some great games, but they certainly can turn it on their day, and we've had a couple of close games against them. We've won some, we've lost some, but they have the ability to offload. They're pretty effective with the ball in hand, and also they are the best defensive team in the league. They've conceded least tries, so they're hard to break down. If you work hard with the ball and against them, you might not always get the reward. You've got to be patient against them because they do keep numbers on their feet, and they do defend particularly well. So we're going to have to stay patient and mix our game up a little bit.
Yeah, you've also got the threats. Obviously, Liam showed what he's capable of on the weekend. Jordan as well, led in that back three. And that's I think we all know down here what Liam's capable of, and it's nice for him that he was able to show on the highest stage exactly what he's capable of. He's only had bit parts up until that Scottish game, and unfortunate thing for Lee Harpen, his injury, but when one door closed, another one opens, and Sanjay took his opportunity really well, which is what we expected him to do. He was outstanding, and he has been for us when he's been with us for the season.